What is your first memory of Gurudev? What is your most precious memory of Gurudev? Thank you so much for bringing his light to us in the form of your teachings. We love you. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Whoever wrote this, I love you all anyway. But thank you. My first memory of Gurudev is when I was 5 years old. And he came to Hong Kong. And he walked in the house. And you know, we come from a big family, joint family system. There's so many kids in one, we're all brought up in one household. So there are about 18 of us. And Gurudev walks in and we all go, wow, that's Moses. And all of us, you know, and I just have this memory, all of us, you know, from, I was the youngest at that time, to everybody older than me, running up to Gurudev. And I just, now I think about it, he had his arms out like this, and he hugged us all. How did he do it? He hugged us all, and we pulled his beard. You know, we really pulled his beard, pinched his cheeks, and he would just laugh. And that's how I remember my first time seeing Gurudev. And after that, he gave us Hatha Yoga lessons, from the littlest to the oldest. My grandmother even attended his Hatha Yoga classes. We all went to our living room. We had a big living room, cleared up all the furniture, and all of us had Hatha Yoga with Gurudev. It was so exciting. The grown-ups and the children were better than the grown-ups. And he would always make sure he praised us. Another very special memory of him was when it was our Chinese New Year. In those days, we used to light firecrackers. It was the thing we did. So we had a big garden. And all of us were in our garden with these little firecrackers, lighting them and throwing them, and hearing the bang. Well, Gurudev had one that was had a fault in it. And it actually burst in his whole finger. And you know, I must have been, this is 2 years later, I must have been about 7 years old. And we just adored him. So I remember crying and crying, Mommy, Gurudev's bleeding, you know, he's burnt, he's gonna die. All of us were panicking. And he just looked at his finger and he goes, oh, poor little finger. And those of you who've known him over the years, you can imagine him doing that, right? Poor little finger, what did you do that I should hurt you like that? And many years later, his teachings stayed with us because my father, whenever he was sick, you know, he'd say the same, oh leg, you cannot walk today. Poor leg, what did I do to make you suffer like this? And when he lost his hearing, he said, you know, oh, God must have taken my hearing because he only wants me to listen to his music. And his sight, God has taken my sight, so I can only see him and not watch all these soap operas that your mom puts on. You know, Indian soap operas, if you've ever watched them, very dramatic. And what is my fondest memory of Gurudev? There's so many. But there's one I particularly said to him that I would rewind every time I got sad. I'd remember that moment. It was after we had had the retreat in Bali, and then I went ahead to Hong Kong to prepare for his visit there. So it was also my 25th wedding anniversary that particular year. It was March, my anniversary was in September. But my parents always believe, you know, Indian custom, you give your daughter jewelry. So they lose all their money, at least one day they have jewelry to sell. So my mother had bought me this beautiful necklace, earrings, and this particular ring, which to me is very interesting how she chose it, because it's 2 rings in one band. And I thought it was so symbolic. My marriage to my husband, my marriage to my guru, both in one. And anyway, he gave her, Mom gave him the box and said, Gurudev, this is your daughter. You put it on her. So one by one, he put the pieces on me. And the tenderness, the love, the kindness, and I just couldn't stop it. The tears just came rolling down. And I said, Gurudev, thank you so much. He said, no, Nalanie, this is nothing. I wish I could have given it to you myself and much, much more. And I said to him, Gurudev, whenever I forget about love and whenever I go into a moment of darkness, I will remember today, I will rewind it in my brain. And so it's there. And that is a very special moment to me. Why? Because it's like, a message from the divine. I think to all of us, probably that's why you asked it today. Sometimes I think he told me these things so that I could give his message to you. We're all one anyway. The message I get is your message. And I think that's probably why this question popped up today, is I think that's what he's telling us all the time. I wish I could give so much more to all of you. It's flowing. This is nothing what I've given you. Take this love and let it grow and let it multiply, because I am always with you and there's so much to give. And so, thank you for that question. I hope I answered it.